Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome. And welcome back, KS family. One thing to just keep on your radar, crypto firm Genesis is preparing to file for bankruptcy. And that's the crypto lending unit of DCG, and it could file as soon as this week. DCG has 50 billion of assets under management. It owns and operates Genesis Trading and the largest digital crypto asset management firm, Grayscale Investments, which manages the first publicly traded Bitcoin investment vehicle, the Bitcoin Investment Trust, or GBTC. You may have seen this really mysterious headline, the US to announce an international cryptocurrency action. In that particular article, they didn't say who the enforcement action was directed at. As we see in crypto, what's hidden doesn't become hidden for very long. Crypto platform Bitslato charged with laundering more than 700 million of illicit money. What's actually fascinating about this particular case? The owner of Bitslato, which is based out of Hong Kong but operates globally, is a Russian national who lives in Shenzhen, China. Concurrent with the US action, French authorities have taken their own enforcement steps, including seizing the digital infrastructure and seizing its cryptocurrency of Bitslato. The DOJ sent a very clear message to criminals operating in the crypto space. Whether you break our laws from China or Europe or abuse our financial system from a tropical island, oh, that must be FTX, you can expect to answer for your crimes inside a United States courtroom. Also, there was a pretty firm message on using crypto to circumvent Russian sanctions. And I quote, "We will, in collaboration and coordination with our allies and with the Department of Justice, we will find you. They have a very specialized set of skills." I'm thinking of Liam Neeson out of the Taken series right now. "We will find you and go after you and take actions against you with all the tools at our disposal." We see the classic signs of a red market, red news headlines. Green market, green news headlines, and they're pretty red at the moment. Coinbase stops Japan operations amid trading slump. I noted yesterday that the markets were looking a little overheated and the probability of at least a partial retracement was definitely on the cards. That's what we saw today, well, in the last trading session. It's also interesting to note that the probability of a 25 basis point increase in the federal funds rate is still above 95%. It's actually 96.4%. In other news, New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announces a shock resignation. C19 is continuing to absolutely wreak havoc on lives of the Chinese people. Now that we have a little bit of background information, let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently down 2.19% to 20,762. Ethereum is down 3.34% to 1522. All financial markets are intercorrelated and interconnected, and the leader of the pack is without question the US market. That's why we pay attention to it. We saw the fear gauge of the main market, the VIX, spike up little over 5%. The Nasdaq came down. What's really fascinating is bond yields literally fell off a cliff, going down nearly 5%, or 4.5%. The DXY stabilized. Gold retraced from its recent ramp up. And one of the things that I pointed out yesterday was to keep your eye on actually junk bonds. And when you look at junk bonds, you can see that it lost its first level of support. It's starting to curl over. This is always something that you want to keep your attention on because junk bonds basically give you a lot of risk-on behavior. Well, if they go up and if they come down, they give you a lot of risk-off behavior. It means that the direction of junk bonds is really, really important to factor in. When you have a fantastic upward surge like we've had recently, The markets will take time to digest those gains, and we can already see the S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell already starting to retrace, and other global major indices starting to level out as well. That's why I just mentioned in yesterday Rule 4, price moves in waves. It's really important to know the rules of the market. Yesterday we were looking at the DXY and I was just mentioning that it was making a series of higher lows and probably would challenge this 102.733 smart money level, and it did so. And then you notice that these smart money buy levels actually can capture price action as well. They're really good to understand what the objective dynamic market structure actually is. A lot of people just thought that the DXY would melt down. That's not necessarily the case. It always comes down to objective dynamic market structure, and you can see those lines through the CTKS method. As professionals, we need to keep our eye across many different facets of the market, and so when we look at the euro versus the USD, we can see it's coming up to some fairly good support levels. This could mean that the dollar, the DXY, has further negative price momentum attached to it. The Bank of Japan will probably have to come in and defend the yen. That will play out on financial markets, especially the Forex market. Something to keep your eye on. We can see that the actions of the Fed have had definite impacts on the economic system. You can see that the Fed balance sheet has been reducing, as they said it would. But the interesting thing, when we look at M1 and M2 money stock, and this includes savings, less liquid money supply, that's actually increasing. So people are starting to save again. Also, when we look at the 5-year break-even inflation rate and the 10-year, it continues to collapse. And this is actually pointing towards the fact that the Fed's policies of destruction are actually working. A lot of people have been really fascinated with the gold trade because it's been doing so well. But you can see that smart money sell level at 1940, that's pretty strong, and it has been resisting upward price momentum. The Fed has been talking about a terminal rate for the federal funds rate of between 5 to 5.25%. Currently, the traders on the street are thinking a little bit differently. They're saying, no, it's 4.77%. Fed, you've got it wrong. We can also see the government yields, the 2, the 20, the 30, the 5 and the 10 are all stuck in a downtrend. This is actually really good for the markets. We may be seeing a short-term retracement. It doesn't necessarily mean the rally is over. One really good thing to look at to understand the overall health or otherwise of the market is retail stocks. Tesla has a lot of love from retail. And what's not to love? Tesla's price is currently $128.77, but we understand about objective dynamic market structure. We understand about the SLs or Stanfield levels. Tesla was just coming down to areas of smart money buy, and the buyers actually stepped in as we would expect they would. That's what these lines are for. But we can see the next major resistance is 141.33 and the next major support is 115.67. Please let me know in the comments, where do you think Tesla is headed? Microsoft is another really good stock that you can keep your eye on, because you always remember that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, and no alt can escape Bitcoin's either. So we must look very widely. Microsoft is currently 235.83. It looks like it's on its way to 229.79. CTKS students, do you see the cut line in Microsoft? Please let me know in the comments. Several videos ago, we looked at the Bank of America's estimates on where the S&P 500 would end up at the end of the year. They forecast between 4,600 and 3,000, but they believe it will actually end out the year at 4,000. There's a couple of key levels that we're looking at from a market structure stance. 37.48 and 35.77. As long as the market actually stays above those two levels, everything is pretty good inside the stock market. If you dig deeper and look into advanced decline lines, across the major indices, you'll actually see that the number of issues advancing versus those declining is actually improving. This is quite unlike what we've seen in recent meltdowns. When you look at the market, it's kind of like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. No, not that jigsaw. This kind of jigsaw. What you'll actually see is that every chart plays its part. They're literally like pieces in the jigsaw puzzle. Most people just want to pick up one piece of the puzzle and say, oh, this is where it's going. Unfortunately, that's not the way financial markets work. It takes a lot of knowledge to read the jigsaw pieces inside the market, but it is possible. One jigsaw puzzle is how the longs and the shorts interact, and we're looking at Bitcoin now. You can see the Bitcoin longs were piling into the market because there was a lot of FOMO. People were missing out, and the fear of missing out is great indeed. But look at the shorts. The shorts haven't really covered up. They're not actually piling into the market. They're waiting with cautious optimism. You might remember yesterday that there were 86 million in total liquidations. Today, there's nearly $250 million, 248.76 million. And look at the number of positions that were liquidated, 61,177. And when we look across total liquidations in the past 24 hours, what do we see here? We see, yes, the longs got hammered, and this is just to be anticipated. 76%, nearly 77%. What about the past 12 hours? 80% long. What about the past 4 hours? 87% long. What about the past hour? Ooh, 52% long. Could that mean that the shorts are running out of steam and they're now starting to get liquidated? Well, could be on the cards. And what we actually do each day, we just look through who is dominating, the shorts or the longs. And of course, the long liquidations dominated in the past 24 hours. When we look at the smart money levels, the Stanfield levels on Bitcoin, we can see something very, very specific. We couldn't break through the 21,405 and the 21,373 level. There were so many sellers actually pushing back from the 21,771 mark that the price just didn't get up there, and it didn't hold as support at that 21,405 and 21,373. We saw that there was a big sell-off underneath the smart money buy level of 21,206. That actually transforms it into a resistance level. We had a myriad of different smart money buy levels that it cut through, but it found support at the 24,779 level. One thing to bear in mind, after a seismic run-up like this, you're going to get action like this, even if it retraces down to a substantial smart money buy level. That's completely healthy. We don't want to look at this with panic. We just want to look at it with understanding. Looking at the list of the top gainers, we can't see many in the top 100. Carver up 7%, Rocketman up 1.3%, and then everything goes kind of haywire. Just basically the stable coins. When the stable coins are in the top list of gainers, what does that mean? We actually pull this as a question out from time to time. It's really important that you do your active learning. I could tell you the answer, but that doesn't help you because you need to see the associations. And then when those associations come up next time, you'll say, I know what that means. Looking at the greatest losers in the past 24 hours, top 100, LRC, Casper, Gala, Maker, Flow, CRO, Phantom, and Algo. Masterclass students from TM15, please keep your eye on these charts. One of the things that we talk about a lot each day, Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. I want to show you specifically what that looks like when we undergo a sell-off in Bitcoin. Where is this sell-off? It's just right here. You can see price coming down. So over this period of time, Bitcoin is still up 18.6%. Not a bad effort. But look at this sell-off here, and then come down to Ethereum and look at the sell-off there. It's seismic. When you get these sell-offs, you must be really, really aware. A sell-off in Bitcoin will lead to a sell-off in the alts. A ramping up in Bitcoin will lead to a ramping up in the alts. Something to bear in mind. And what happened to BNB? When Bitcoin's sell-off came, basically BNB was up 8% and then it went down to 0%. So it wiped out 8% and then it bounced up. Just keep these things in mind. You really want to be careful of these sell-offs in Bitcoin, but you want to be mindful of trying to capture the uptick as well. When we look at XRP was up around 7%, and look at that, what a drop. This is how movement, directional movement, is something that you must keep your eye on when it comes to Bitcoin. This is why we say no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, because it's true. Having a look at ADA. ADA was up about 10%, and then look at it get hit. Just literally wiped out a 10% return in a heartbeat. But it can go the other way as well. You just want to use this volatility for your advantage. I spoke about putting pieces of the financial jigsaw puzzle together, the table that you actually operate on, like this lady is putting this jigsaw puzzle together, and not too well, I might add. Where are your pieces? But anyway, the concept, the table they're your rules. If you understand the rules of where to place the pieces, because it's not a three-dimensional thing like this, it's a multi-dimensional analysis that you need to do, but it's doable. Having this graphic in your mind can really help you. The way to put the pieces of the puzzle together is through rules. This is one of those rules. Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. But let's see if it plays out on the next top 8. Let's have a look at Doge. Doge was up about 16.5%, and then it plummeted to nearly 0% or around 1%. Look at that directional correlation between the alt and Bitcoin. You can see the same thing happening in Matic, but Matic was stronger. You can see Solana took a very, very decent hit. Well, it basically started out at about 46.5% and then went down to say 26.5%. That is quite a cut in profitability. That's why you want to be really aware of gravitational fields. You want to understand how to pick up the jigsaw puzzles and how to put the jigsaw pieces together through rules. Look at DOT. DOT was about 22% up, and then when Bitcoin's gravity hit it, it came down to around 11%. If you can avoid these kind of downwards movements as a trader, that can be very, very good. And we can see SHIB decided to take out Litecoin, DAI. Well, it took out Tron yesterday. But the concept is, look at actual SHIB. The price is coming down. It was just a late bloomer. So is SHIB bucking Bitcoin's gravity? No, it's not. It's absolutely on ping. I mentioned a few videos ago that this is a trader's market. It's really hard to invest into this market at the moment. Of course, it's doable, but it's difficult. Trading is potentially much, much more profitable. But I say potentially because you have to have the knowledge. It's not a gambling thing. You don't just throw your money at a particular alt and hope. You have to be scientific about it. And when we see Litecoin, look at this directional sell-off in Bitcoin. And look at what it did to Litecoin. It basically took it from about 5% to around, let's just say, negative 2%. So you can see how gains can be wiped out really quickly if you don't pay attention. And because in yesterday's episode, we were paying attention, we saw junk bonds looking a little bit strange, the dollar firming. We saw signs of things potentially turning around. So we said, this is going to potentially turn around. And thank you to all the people who reached out and said thank you to me for just pointing that out. It's an absolute pleasure. But remember, you have to deal with uncertainty. That's just how financial markets work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it goes against you. You're not going to get 100% strike rate. It's just not on the cards. DAI is a stable coin, and we can see Tron. When Bitcoin hit it, Tron actually fell quite substantially, down from 9 to 3, but this is much stronger than the percentage falls that we're seeing on other cryptos. This is the way that you want to look at the crypto market. And many people just say, oh, I only trade Doge or SHIB or Solana or DOT. You need to look at all the other charts or you're not going to know what is happening. And especially, I hope I've just conclusively proven that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. You want to pay attention. And this is what movements down in Bitcoin can do to the market. So you want to be really, really aware of these things. Just stack your jigsaw pieces up. And as you get more and more proficient, you'll see more and more connections. As you know more and more rules, you'll actually be able to join more and more of that jigsaw puzzle together. It does take time, so be kind on yourself while you're putting your jigsaw puzzle together. I'd like to say a very big thank you to CC, Badger, Francisca, Raptors Owl. CC, I never show public private comments publicly. I just don't do that. But your words were so beautiful, my friend. Thank you so much. This video is getting a little long, but I wanted to just discuss habits, because habits are so important. Your future is literally created one habit at a time. We have positive excellence, which gives sustainable fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. This has been described as a to-be list, and that's a beautiful description. To have gratitude is a beautiful thing. It's a fantastic positive habit. And remember, those positive habits make you. Negative habits set you back. Having inner peace is a habit. It's not an activity, it's actually a habit. Outer peace is a habit as well. Strength is a habit. Boundaries are a habit. Kindness is a habit. Courage is a habit. Persistence, whoa, yeah baby, that's a very big positive habit. Every successful person I've ever had the privilege to meet or just be around has always had persistence and commitment. They are some of the most persistent and committed individuals you'll ever find. Maybe just for today, think about persistence and commitment. What could you have more commitment in? What could you focus and have more persistence in? These are phenomenal positive habits that will absolutely transform lives for the better. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And to each and every member of our beloved global family, I appreciate you all so very much. I love to see your comments each and every day. And the thing that I love most of all, we are a real community. We are a global family. We're focused on financial prosperity, but that comes after mental prosperity. And that's what the CTKS Creed is all about. It's all about creating better habits and therefore creating a better life through daily positive affirmations. These affirmations are just simple statements that you say to yourself with feeling and conviction, and they will lead eventually to a life of abundance, financial success, and happiness. Let's get into it. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. I never let a problem beat me because I solve it with positive excellence. We know that all results come from the mind, and a better mind creates a better outcome and a beautiful life. And that's what it's all about. Stay safe out there, my friends, and I look forward to joining you tomorrow. Bye for now.